Sunwoo Park yawned as he checked the time on his watch. It was almost midnight, but he wanted to finish documenting the new plant specimens before going home. The university greenhouse was peaceful at night, with only the soft hum of grow lights and the gentle mist of the automatic watering system breaking the silence. Just a few more samples, he muttered to himself, adjusting his glasses as he carefully labeled another seedling tray. The quiet night suddenly changed when a strange blue light flashed outside the greenhouse windows. Sunwoo looked up from his work, thinking it might be campus security doing their rounds, but the light was too bright, too unusual to be a flashlight. He set down his notebook and walked to the glass wall. "Hello? Is someone there?" he called out, but received no answer. The blue light grew stronger, now pulsing in a rhythm that seemed almost deliberate. Sunwoo felt a strange tingling sensation on his skin, like static electricity. The plants around him rustled their leaves despite there being no wind in the sealed greenhouse. Without warning, the glass wall in front of him seemed to disappear. There was no crash, no shattering. It simply vanished. Before Sunwoo could even step back, a beam of light shot through the opening and surrounded him completely. "What's happening?" he gasped, but his voice sounded distant and muffled to his own ears. His feet lifted off the ground. The clipboard in his hand slipped away as he floated helplessly in the beam of light. The greenhouse below him grew smaller as he rose higher into the night sky. Panic filled his chest, but his limbs felt too heavy to move. Then everything went black. When Sunwoo opened his eyes, he found himself lying on a smooth metal surface. The room around him was circular with walls that glowed with a soft light. The air smelled strange, clean but with an unfamiliar metallic scent. "Subject is conscious," said a female voice. Sunwoo pushed himself up to a sitting position and saw her standing by what looked like a control panel. She appeared almost human, but there were clear differences. Her skin had a pale blue tint that seemed to shimmer when she moved. Her eyes were larger than human eyes and completely black without any visible whites or pupils. Her hair was white and seemed to float slightly as if underwater. "Who are you? Where am I?" Sunwoo asked, his voice shaking. The woman approached him with smooth, gliding steps. "I am Nari, xenobiologist of the Stellar Research Division. You are aboard my research vessel currently in orbit around your planet." Sunwoo tried to stand but felt dizzy. You're not human." "Correct. I am from a world you would call Nara, approximately 70 light-years from Earth," she replied calmly. "Why am I here? Why did you take me?" Sunwoo asked, looking around for something familiar, some way to orient himself. Nari picked up a tablet-like device and tapped on its surface. "You have been selected for a vital research project. Our civilization has studied Earth for many years, and we have determined that humans possess genetic traits of great interest." "Genetic traits?" Sunwoo repeated, feeling increasingly uneasy. "Yes. Our species faces a crisis of genetic stagnation. Our population has become too homogeneous, making us vulnerable to disease and environmental changes." She moved closer to examine him. "Humans, however, show remarkable genetic diversity and adaptability. Your species can survive in various environments and has overcome countless diseases." Sunwoo backed away until he hit a wall. "So I'm some kind of lab rat to you?" "Not a rat. A valuable specimen. Your contribution will help save my civilization." Nari's expression remained neutral, but her voice softened. "You specifically were chosen because your genetic profile shows above-average diversity markers." "Wait," Sunwoo said as a horrible thought occurred to him. "When you say contribution, what exactly do you mean?" "Breeding program material, of course," Nari answered matter-of-factly. "Our research indicates humans reproduce sexually, which introduces beneficial genetic variations. We need to understand and potentially replicate this process." Sunwoo's face flushed red. "You abducted me for breeding? Is there a problem?" Nari asked, genuinely confused by his reaction. "Our records show humans frequently engage in reproductive activities. It is a biological function, is it not?" "That's not the point. You can't just take someone from their planet for this," Sunwoo tried to keep his voice steady, but fear and anger were building inside him. A door slid open on the far side of the room, and another alien entered. This one was taller than Nari, with darker blue skin and silver markings on its face. "Nari, have you explained the procedure to the specimen?" the newcomer asked. "I was just beginning, Minho," Nari replied. Sunwoo looked frantically around the room for an exit. "I'm not a specimen, and I'm not participating in any breeding program. You need to take me back to Earth right now." Minho and Nari exchanged looks. "The subject seems distressed," Minho observed. "Perhaps we should begin with the medical examination first, then proceed to the orientation." "This is kidnapping. It's wrong," Sunwoo shouted. Nari approached him with what appeared to be an attempt at a reassuring smile. "Please remain calm. No harm will come to you. Your role in our research is valued and necessary. The future of our species depends on understanding your biological processes." Sunwoo backed into a corner, heart racing. Somehow he needed to make these aliens understand their mistake. He was a botanist, not a breeding specimen. There had to be a way to communicate with them to find common ground. "Wait," he said, trying to sound more composed than he felt. "Before any examinations, we need to talk. I'm a scientist too. I study plant genetics. Maybe I can help you understand human biology without whatever you're planning." Nari and Minho paused, looking intrigued by this new information. Nari studied Sunwoo with curiosity. 3 days had passed since his abduction, and while he was still upset, he had calmed enough to talk. They sat in what Nari called the observation chamber, a room with comfortable furniture but also many hidden sensors. "I still don't understand why you won't let me go home," Sunwoo said, picking at the strange food they had given him. It looked like blue rice but tasted like sweet potatoes. "We need to complete our research," Nari replied. She held up her tablet device. "But I am trying to understand your concerns. You say our breeding program is wrong?" Sunwoo sighed. "Yes. On Earth, we don't force people to mate with strangers. We choose our partners. We have relationships first." "Relationships?" Nari tilted her head. "You mean social bonds before breeding?" "Yes, exactly. We date, we fall in love, we get married. Well, some of us do. And then we might have children. But it's always a choice." Nari made notes on her device. "This is very different from our ways. Our species reproduces through genetic material exchange. We provide samples that are matched for optimal diversity. There is no physical contact involved." Sunwoo nearly choked on his blue rice. "Wait, you don't you don't physically—" "No," Nari said, looking slightly confused. "Is that what you thought? That we wanted to physically mate with you?" "That's what breeding program suggested," Sunwoo exclaimed, his face reddening. Minho entered the room carrying several containers. "I have prepared the sample collection devices," he announced. Then he noticed Sunwoo's expression. "Is there a problem?" "There has been a serious misunderstanding," Nari explained. "Humans do not reproduce the way we thought. Their process is much more intimate and apparently requires emotional connection." Minho set down his containers. "Explain." Sunwoo took a deep breath. "Humans reproduce sexually. It involves physical contact between two people, but it's considered very private and personal. We don't just do it with anyone, especially not against our will." "Fascinating," Minho said, taking notes. "And is this physical contact pleasurable?"
"This is getting uncomfortable," Sunwoo muttered. "I apologize," Nari said quickly. "We are scientists trying to understand. Our reproduction is clinical. We provide genetic material that is combined in laboratories. There is no physical contact."
"Between individuals. So you've never kissed anyone?" Sunwoo asked. "Kissed?" both aliens repeated. "When two people press their lips together. It's a sign of affection." Nari's skin shifted to a deeper blue color. "You press food intake openings together? That sounds unhygienic." Despite himself, Sunwoo laughed. "I guess it does sound strange when you put it that way." Minho was fascinated. And this is part of your reproductive process? Not exactly. It's part of showing affection. Look, human relationships are complicated. We don't just reproduce, we form bonds, we care for each other. Nari and Minho exchanged looks. This explains why our research was flawed, Nari said. We intercepted Earth broadcasts that showed humans engaging in what we thought was breeding, behavior. But now I understand it was showing affection. What broadcasts? Sunwoo asked suspiciously. Visual entertainment. I believe you call them movies and television shows, Minho explained. We saw humans embracing and pressing food, intake openings together. We assumed this was reproduction. Sunwoo buried his face in his hands. You've been watching our romance movies and thought that was a documentary about breeding. Is it not? Nari asked. No, those are stories. Entertainment, fiction. Then how do we learn about actual human reproduction? Minho asked earnestly. Sunwoo felt his face grow hot again. I am not giving you the talk about human reproduction. Look, the point is you can't force me to participate in any breeding program, even if it's just giving samples. Nari looked disappointed. But our species faces extinction without genetic diversity. I'm sorry about that, but kidnapping people isn't the solution, Sunwoo said firmly. Minho seemed to be thinking. What if we offered an exchange, knowledge for knowledge? You teach us about human biology, and we share our advanced science with you? That would have been a better first approach than abduction, Sunwoo pointed out. Nari's eyes lit up. You said you're a botanist. Perhaps you could help us with plant genetics instead. Plants don't have the same complications as sentient beings. Sunwoo considered this. That might work. I could look at your plant breeding problems, but I need to contact Earth and let them know I'm okay. Contact Earth? Minho looked alarmed. Our presence must remain secret. Why? Sunwoo asked. Are you planning to invade? No, Nari said quickly. But our research shows humans often react violently to unknown species. Your entertainment broadcasts frequently show humans destroying aliens. Sunwoo sighed. Those are just movies too. Not all humans would react badly. Some would welcome peaceful contact. Would you help us? Nari asked hopefully. Help us understand how to approach humans properly without causing fear. Sunwoo thought about it. He was still angry about being abducted, but the alien seemed genuinely confused rather than malicious. Perhaps he could turn this bizarre situation into something positive. I'll help you understand humans better, he agreed cautiously. But first you need to learn about something we call consent. It means asking permission before doing things that affect others. Consent, both aliens repeated, testing the word. Yes. And my first request is better food. This blue rice is awful. Nari's skin brightened with what seemed to be embarrassment. That's not food. That's decorative texture material. The food is in the container to your right. Sunwoo looked at the untouched container, then back at the blue substance he'd been eating. He closed his eyes and groaned. This was going to be a long and strange cultural exchange. The large ship glided through space like a silver fish through dark water. Sunwoo pressed his face against the viewing window, his breath fogging the glass. The stars looked different from here, without Earth's atmosphere to make them twinkle. We are approaching the central hub, Nari said, standing beside him. Her blue skin seemed to shimmer under the ship's lights. It's where all Federation species meet. Sunwoo nodded, still not entirely comfortable with his situation. 2 weeks had passed since his abduction, and though relations had improved once, the cultural misunderstandings were cleared up. He was still technically a captive. How many species are in this Federation? He asked. 23 major civilizations and 47 developing ones, Minho answered from behind them. Our species, the Nara, were the 5th to join. The ship slowed as they approached what looked like a massive wheel spinning in space. It was easily the size of a small moon, with spokes extending from a central core. Lights of all colors sparkled along its surface. That's the hub, Sunwoo whispered in awe. Yes. Each section houses representatives from different worlds, Nari explained. You are the first human to ever see it. Their small vessel docked at one of the spokes. Sunwoo felt a slight bump, then heard the hiss of pressure equalizing. The atmosphere in the common areas is suitable for most oxygen breathers, Minho told him. But some sections require special equipment. When the door opened, Sunwoo hesitated. What exactly am I supposed to do here? Nari looked at him with her large dark eyes. Just be yourself. The Science Council wants to meet you. They were skeptical when we reported finding an intelligent species unknown to the Federation. Unknown? Sunwoo frowned. But you've been monitoring our broadcasts. Only recently, Minho said. Your planet was classified as pre-technological until 50 of your years ago. We've been observing your rapid development since then. They stepped out into a wide corridor with a high ceiling. The floor was made of a material that looked like metal, but felt soft under Sunwoo's feet. The walls glowed with a gentle light that seemed to come from nowhere. Sunwoo nearly jumped when a creature floated past them. It looked like a purple jellyfish the size of a car, trailing tentacles that never quite touched the ground. Greetings, Nara scientists, the creature said in a voice that sounded like bubbles popping. Is this the Earth specimen? This is Sunwoo. Park, a human botanist, Nari corrected. Sunwoo, this is Ambassador Zool of the Medusa Collective. Hello? Sunwoo said awkwardly, unsure if he should bow or shake a tentacle. The jellyfish-like being pulsed with light. Fascinating. It uses sound vibrations like the Nara. I expected a telepathic species based on their entertainment transmissions. Their, broadcasts are not entirely accurate representations, Minho explained. We've learned that humans create fictional narratives for entertainment. How inefficient, Zool commented before floating away. As they continued walking, more aliens appeared. Some were vaguely humanoid, others completely different from any life form Sunwoo had imagined. A group of what looked like walking crystals chimed musically as they passed. Small furry creatures with 6 legs scurried along the ceiling. They're all staring at me, Sunwoo whispered. You are something new, Nari said. The Federation rarely discovers intelligent species that developed without intervention. Intervention? Sunwoo asked. Before Nari could answer, they reached a large circular door that slid open silently. Inside was a room with tiered seating like an amphitheater. Beings of all descriptions occupied the seats, and all eyes, sensory organs or whatever they used to perceive the world, turned toward Sunwoo. At the center of the room was a platform with a single chair. That's for you, Minho said quietly. The council will ask questions. Answer honestly. Wait, this is an interrogation? Sunwoo hissed. Not interrogation. Verification, Nari corrected. They need to confirm what we've reported. Feeling like he was about to give the most important presentation of his life, Sunwoo walked to the chair and sat down. A tall, thin alien with gray skin and 4 arms approached the platform. I am Elder Kiri, head of the Science Council, it said in a surprisingly gentle voice. We welcome you, human Sunwoo. Your presence here is unexpected but significant. Thank you, Sunwoo replied, his mouth dry. I admit I didn't expect to be here either. A murmur of what might have been amusement rippled through the crowd. Our Nara colleagues claim your species achieved space travel independently without guidance, Elder Kiri continued. Is this true? Sunwoo nodded. Yes. We've sent people to our moon and robotic explorers throughout our solar system. Another, murmur louder this time. And your people have split the atom? Developed global communication? Created artificial intelligence? Each question came from a different council member. Yes to all of those, Sunwoo answered, feeling a strange pride in humanity's achievements. Elder Kiri's 4 hands made a complex gesture. Remarkable. Most species require uplift assistance to reach such milestones. Uplift? Sunwoo asked. Guidance. From more advanced civilizations, Nari whispered from nearby. Final question, Elder Kiri said. Is your planet unified under a single government? Sunwoo hesitated. No. We have many nations and governments. This caused the greatest reaction yet. The council members turned to each other, talking rapidly. In various languages, Elder Kiri raised a hand for silence. This is unprecedented. A species that has achieved nuclear technology and space travel while remaining politically divided. The danger of self-destruction is enormous. We've come close a few times, Sunwoo admitted. But we've survived so far. Perhaps this explains their genetic diversity, Minho suggested to the council. Multiple isolated populations evolving, with different selection pressures, Elder Kiri nodded. The human merits further study, but not as a specimen, as a representative of a potential new Federation member. Sunwoo blinked in surprise. You want Earth to join your Federation? In time, Elder Kiri said, when your people are ready. For now, you will be our first cultural exchange ambassador. Sunwoo looked at Nari, who seemed as surprised as he was. Their mistaken abduction had just become humanity's first step into a much larger universe. 6 months had passed since Sunwoo arrived at the Galactic Federation hub. The small lab he shared with Nari was filled with plants from a dozen different worlds. Vines with purple leaves climbed the walls. Blue flowers that closed when anyone spoke too loudly sat in pots near the window. Strange fruits that looked like stars hung from a short tree in the corner. Sunwoo carefully cut a small piece from a leaf and placed it under the microscope. The Federation's equipment was far better than anything he had used on Earth. He could see the plant's cells clearly, watching as they moved and changed. Any progress? Nari asked, entering the lab with 2 cups of steaming liquid. She handed one to Sunwoo. Thanks, he said, taking a sip of the sweet beverage that had become his favorite drink at the hub. And yes, I think I'm onto something important. Nari sat beside him. Over the months they had developed an easy friendship. Her initial scientific interest in him had grown into genuine respect and affection. Show me, she said, leaning closer, to see his work. Sunwoo pointed to the screen displaying the microscope's view. See these plant cells? They're from your homeworld, and these... He switched to another slide. Are Earth plant cells. They look similar but different, Nari observed. Exactly. But watch what happens when I introduce the enzyme I created. Sunwoo added a drop of clear liquid to the slide. On the screen, the cells began to change, their walls becoming stronger, their internal structures more organized. That's amazing. Nari's skin brightened with excitement, a reaction Sunwoo had learned meant she was happy. The cells are becoming more resilient. Yes, Sunwoo nodded eagerly. And I think this same principle could work for your people's genetic problem. The Nara faced extinction because their genetic diversity had become too limited. Centuries of controlled reproduction had eliminated disease but left them vulnerable to new threats. Their immune systems couldn't adapt to new challenges. You think you can help us with plant science? Nari asked, hope in her voice. Plants and animals aren't so different at the cellular level, Sunwoo explained. This enzyme encourages genetic diversity without harmful mutations. It's based on how Earth plants adapt to new environments. Suddenly, the lab door slid open. Minho rushed in, looking agitated. His normally smooth blue skin was rippled with stress marks. We have an emergency, he said without greeting. A shuttle has returned from the outer colonies with sick passengers. They've been exposed to an unknown pathogen. Nari stood quickly. How many are affected? 23 so far, all Nara. The medical team can't identify the illness. Their immune systems are failing. Sunwoo looked at his microscope, then at the 2 aliens. Let me help. Minho hesitated. This is an internal matter? No, Nari interrupted. Sunwoo's research might be relevant. Human immune systems are highly adaptive. They hurried through the corridors of the hub to the medical section. The facility was unlike any hospital Sunwoo had seen. Patients floated in clear chambers filled with glowing liquid. Doctors of various species moved efficiently between stations. Elder Kiri was there, all 4 hands moving across control panels. The pathogen is unlike anything in our database, the Elder explained when they approached. It attacks the genetic structure directly. Sunwoo asked to see the data. A holographic display appeared showing cells under attack. The pattern was familiar. This is similar to something on Earth, Sunwoo said, excitement building in his voice. A fungal infection that attacks plants with low genetic diversity. Monocultures are especially vulnerable. Can you help? Elder Kiri asked directly. Maybe. Sunwoo turned to Nari. The enzyme I was working on, it might help their bodies fight. That enzyme was designed for plants, Minho objected. The principle is the same, Sunwoo insisted. It encourages genetic expression and adaptation. Your people lost that ability through too much genetic engineering. Elder Kiri made a decision. Prepare the enzyme for testing. For the next 12 hours, Sunwoo and Nari worked without rest, modifying the enzyme for Nara physiology. When they finally had a version they believed would work, they tested it on tissue samples from the sick passengers. The results were immediate and clear on the screens. The infected cells began to fight back against the pathogen. It's working, Nari whispered, her skin glowing brighter than Sunwoo had ever seen. With Elder Kiri's approval, they administered the modified enzyme to one critically ill patient. Then they waited. 3 hours later, the patient's vital signs began to improve. By the next day, all 23 infected Nara were recovering. Indoor, the lab now quiet after the emergency. Sunwoo sat exhausted but happy. Nari entered with 2 cups of their special drink. You saved them, she said simply, sitting beside him. The enzyme worked better than I expected, Sunwoo admitted. But it's only temporary. Your people need a permanent solution to your genetic diversity problem. Nari's skin changed to a deep blue, which Sunwoo had learned indicated deep emotion. You've given us time to find that solution. She hesitated, then added, The Council is impressed. They're talking about a formal alliance with Earth now. Sunwoo looked out the window at the stars. Earth isn't ready for that. We can barely get along with each other, let alone aliens. Perhaps, Nari said, but they're ready to send you home, as our official representative, to prepare your people. Slowly, Sunwoo turned to her in surprise. Home? I can go back to Earth? Yes, Nari said, her voice soft. Unless you want to stay. Sunwoo realized that the hub had begun to feel like home too. And Nari, she had become more than just a colleague. What if I want both? He asked quietly. Nari's skin glowed with happiness. Then we'll find a way to make that happen. The small ship broke through Earth's atmosphere, cloaked from human detection systems. Inside, Sunwoo looked down at the blue planet with mixed feelings. After a year away, he was finally home, but part of him already missed the wonders of the Federation hub. We will land in an isolated area as planned, Minho said from the pilot's seat. Your government representatives will meet us there. Sunwoo nodded. The Federation Council had decided that a controlled first contact was better than suddenly announcing their existence to the entire world. Only a small group of scientists and government officials had been informed of their arrival. Nari stood beside Sunwoo, her blue skin slightly paler than usual. Are you nervous? He asked. Yes, she admitted. I've studied your people, but meeting them is different. What if they react badly to my appearance? Sunwoo took her hand. Their relationship had grown beyond friendship during his time at the E-Hub. The people meeting us were carefully selected. They know what to expect. The ship landed smoothly in a desert area. Through the view screen, Sunwoo could see a small group of people standing next to several black vehicles. They looked tiny against the vast emptiness of the landscape. Ready? Minho asked, standing at the door controls. Sunwoo took a deep breath. Ready. The door opened with a soft hiss. Bright sunlight and dry heat rushed in. Sunwoo stepped out first, feeling the familiar pull of Earth's gravity. It felt slightly stronger after so long in the hub's artificial environment. A woman in a dark suit stepped forward from the waiting group. Dr. Park, welcome back to Earth. We were beginning to think you were gone forever. Dr. Chen, Sunwoo greeted his former university supervisor. Thank you for agreeing to this meeting. When we received your message from space, we thought it was a hoax, she said. Until you included details only you would know. She looked past him to the ship entrance. Are they coming out? Sunwoo turned and nodded to Nari and Minho, who were waiting just inside. Slowly they emerged into the Earth's sunlight. There was an audible gasp from the human group. Dr. Chen's eyes widened, but to her credit, she maintained her composure. Dr. Chen, this is Nari and Minho of the Nara species, representatives of the Galactic Federation, Sunwoo said formally. Nari stepped forward and raised her hand in greeting. We come in peace and friendship, she said, her voice musical in the dry desert air. Dr. Chen hesitated only a moment before extending her own hand. On behalf of Earth's scientific community, welcome to our world. The next few hours were filled with carefully planned introductions and preliminary discussions. The human representatives, 6 scientists and 3 government officials, were understandably cautious but increasingly fascinated as Sunwoo explained his experiences with the Federation. You're saying there are 23 advanced civilizations out there? Asked one of the government officials, his voice skeptical. 23 major ones and many more developing, Minho confirmed. Your world is unusual for developing space travel independently. As the sun began to set, turning the desert sky into bands of orange and purple, Sunwoo found a moment alone with Nari. They stood a short distance from the others, watching Earth's sunset together. It's beautiful, Nari said. Different from the hub's artificial day-night cycle. Yes, Sunwoo agreed. I miss this, but I missed the hub when I first arrived there too. He turned to face her. Where do we go from here? Nari's skin rippled with colors that Sunwoo had learned to read as thoughtfulness. The Council has approved my request to establish a permanent cultural exchange office here on Earth. It will be hidden, of course, until your people are ready for full disclosure. And you'll be running this office? Sunwoo asked hopefully. Yes, with your help if you're willing. Sunwoo smiled. Of course I am. But what about my life here? My research, my friends? You can maintain both, Nari said. The Federation needs you as a bridge between our worlds. You understand both sides now. A soft chime came from the communication device on Nari's wrist. Minho says it's time to return to the ship. We need to relocate to the permanent site before dawn. They walked back to the group, where Dr. Chen was waiting. Dr. Park, we've prepared your cover story, she said. As far as the public knows, you were part of a classified research project. You can return to your position at the university whenever you're ready. Thank you, Sunwoo said. But I'll be working with the Federation representatives as well. Dr. Chen nodded. We expected as much. Your dual role makes you uniquely valuable. She looked at Nari. And I understand there might be personal reasons as well. Sunwoo felt his face grow warm, but he didn't deny it. We'll be in touch soon with the next steps. As they boarded the ship for the short flight to the hidden Federation outpost, Sunwoo took one last look at the desert landscape, now dark except for the lights of the government vehicles. A year ago I was abducted from my greenhouse, he said to Nari. I was terrified and angry. We made many mistakes, Nari acknowledged. Our understanding of humans was incomplete. Sunwoo laughed. That's an understatement. You thought our movies were documentaries about breeding. Nari's skin flushed with embarrassment. Yes, not our finest scientific moment. As the ship rose silently into the night sky, Sunwoo took Nari's hand. But sometimes mistakes lead to unexpected discoveries. Like finding that humans and Nara can work together despite our differences, she suggested. Like finding that distance between stars doesn't matter when two people find something worth bridging that gap, Sunwoo replied softly. Below them, Earth turned slowly, unaware that a new chapter in its history had just begun, all because of one botanist, one alien scientist, and a spectacular misunderstanding about human breeding habits.